What is going on YouTube? Here we are, another edition. Mic check, seeing if we are on and up and going. While we do that, let's just take a look here. And I thank you for taking a peek at Cleanpin. And what we do is we talk wrestling every other week. To say consistency is what's important on YouTube. I need to find a consistent date to make things work to put this out here. It was supposed to be last night, and that failed horribly. So here we are. Here we are on Wednesday night, and to make things work to put this out here. It was supposed to be last night. Now we're up and going. We're up and going. So please do hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. If you're following this channel, we talk about wrestling. We try to bring out some wrestling news, wrestling tidbits throughout the course of the week. We also, in the same regard, we do talk sports here. We talk football. We talk basketball. We talk baseball. Talk some hockey. We talk some MMA. We cover everything under the garment. Garment, is that a word? We cover everything under the spectrum. Spectrum? That's the word. Spectrum. We cover everything under the spectrum. Um, except golf, because, well, no one really watches golf. And, as far as the wrestling podcast here, you got to hit the notification bell. Hit the subscribe button. This is when we do long form news and highlights of news that I did not capture. And we're going to try to do this every other week. So that's bi-weekly. So there should be 26 episodes in the course of the year, right? Right. I think that makes sense. Anyway, hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button. It would mean a lot. And in the background here, we have, in case you are wondering, we have buy it or list it, actually. Not wrestling related, but buy it or list it. And, a lot has happened in the course of 2 weeks since we last spoke. Geez, really, where you begin? A lot of AEW, a lot of WWE kind of news as well. And NWA, what is it? What's that new fed now? GCW, which everyone is, clamoring for. A lot of things to get into, and we're gonna try to fit everything into fit 5 pounds of bologna in a 1 pound bag. How about that for a analogy? You're welcome. If that hasn't made you want to subscribe to the channel, then I don't know what that witty analogy. And, well, I think the best place to start um, would be the Royal Rumble and Royal Rumble predictions. And just going off of the card here, I guess we could go backwards. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Um, I like the setup for this has been short, relatively speaking. I'm sure there were other plans, but when Roman Reigns got COVID a couple of weeks back, and it changed that pay-per-view card. it in essence kind of changed the whole course of what they wanted to do. I believe we're still going to get to get to that point as to where they wanted what they wanted, and I think that's in my honest opinion. What I think they want to do is they want to do a Roman Reigns Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar unification match. I think that's title unification match. I think we're going to have going back to where you're not going to have two brands. Um, I don't know. That's where I see it. I think that's where they were going. They were going to have a match eventually at WrestleMania, and I think they want to do away with the. And this is just me. And I think that they want to do away with with the brand split because they're trying to bump up the ratings here a little bit. The ratings have been a little bit lackluster. I mean, it's been lackluster across the board. Um, even if you are a big AEW mark, you gotta admit that the ratings have been kind of lackluster. They haven't really improved. They kind of stayed the same. So I think that's where they're going. But Seth Rollins, um, he's a credible opponent for Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has never beat him. Has never beat him. The Usos are banned from ringside. Um, what I think happens is it's going to be some type of fuckery that's going to happen with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Maybe excuse me, maybe you have a Kevin Owens comes out, tries to support his best friend, and then you know out come the Usos trying to intercept whatever Kevin Owens is going down there for support. Starts a fight. Um, Ref turns his back, doesn't see what happens. Seth Rollins gets a low blow type of a deal, and that's over. Roman Reigns wins. I just see them going with Roman Reigns into WrestleMania. They think that's always been the plan, and I think that's exactly what will happen. Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice. I really didn't care too much for this. For this matchup. I know it's probably one of the matches or one of the dream matches for Edge. Maybe not so much because he's fighting Miz, but the fact is that he gets to fight side by side with his wife Beth Phoenix, who is also coming out of well, she is retired. She's probably making this um, match just one time appearance. Maurice has been retired for quite some time. Um, you're not gonna see scientific wrestling on this match. Don't be fooled. You're gonna see a lot of outside work being done. Team Grit versus the it couple, as it's seen, as they're called. You know, um, I think Edge and Beth Phoenix are gonna win. I think the storyline would have been, or the match would have been just fine by itself if it was just Edge and Beth Phoenix. I mean, if it was just Edge and the Miz, adding Beth Phoenix there when you have a character like Maurice, I don't know, takes a little bit away from it. Like you now, Maurice is intimidated. She looks like she's legitimately scared of Beth Phoenix, and I don't know really what their whole interaction really has. Um, uh, how it's evolved anything. It's more of the interactions have been just to get one over on the opposing side. But still, I mean, this it hasn't really it hasn't really done anything for me, honestly. So I see Edge and Beth Phoenix beating Maurice and The Miz. I think it's just kind of a one time off type of a deal, and we move on from it. Becky Lynch versus Dewdrop. Dewdrop has been overlooked. Everyone's been getting opportunities except Dewdrop. That's kind of the storyline that we have been fed, have been developed here. Um, Actually, not even much of a story, to be honest with you. Hasn't really developed. I just don't see Dewdrop winning here. Mind you, she's just off of a. Mind you, she's just off of a fresh, pretty fresh loss from, um, you know, from Selena Vega. Couple, it just, Dewdrop and getting over with that Eva Marie thing, where she was trying to get sympathy from the crowd, and then she kind of was getting sympathy where people were caring for her, and then she went back into being a heel, and I really don't know if anyone really cares, to be honest with you now, in the Dewdrop character again after they've had her for so long, being like kind of taken advantage of by Eva Marie. They split up. She's like a face for about you know, uh, 2 minutes, and then it's changed right back. So I did not get that whole build up with Eva Marie to turn face, just to turn heel back relatively quickly. So again, I just see Becky Lynch as well going into WrestleMania as the champion. Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman versus Bobby Lashley with MVP. Um, it's a dream match for Brock Lesnar. Not so much Brock Lesnar, but Bobby Lashley. I take that back, and Bobby Lashley has been, the silent one, the one taking it all in, and Brock Lesnar with the jokes, Brock Lesnar with the mic skills. Now, how did we not know that the great Brock Lesnar has these mic skills? Who has been Listen, this guy has been absolute money since he's come back, into the WWE. It's worked perfectly. And he's been doing a good job. Knock knock, who's there? Bobby who? Exactly. It just it's working for him. It is working for him, and he's been doing a good job. He legitimately seems like he's been having so much fun since he's come back, and it shows. And it shows. Was he meant to hold the title? Was he did you know? I don't think he was meant to have the title now, like he has the title. So I think this is a kind of on the fly thing that we're going through. But I will take it. I like this I like this Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. So Bobby Lashley hasn't really been able to get the advantage on things. Brock Lesnar always been having the last word, which makes you think here, who's going to have the last word? Bobby Lashley has been, in fact, pretty much, he has been bitched out um, last couple weeks by Brock Lesnar. Um, but when I look at it now, um, listen, I just don't see, now that they're going with this with Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. I just don't see how Brock Lesnar loses it, because I have always thought from the beginning, once the Rock rumors versus Roman Reign rumors calmed down, I always thought from the very beginning, from the very get go, that we're going to have a unification match. And here we are on the road to WrestleMania. We're looking at you know the pay per view before, we're looking at WrestleMania being right around the corner. So I just feel that it's going to be that unification match, and I just don't see how Brock Lesnar loses um, to Roman Reigns, because you remember that that whole feud there was kind of stopped. It was stopped because Roman got sick. So I just think that it's on that path where we're going towards a unification series there, and they're going to pick that up at WrestleMania. So I do feel that Brock Lesnar will defeat Bobby Lashley. It's not going to be a clean. It's going to be an interference. It's going to be some type of tomfoolery, as the adults say. Something will happen that way. Bobby Lashley will still have his edge, and it won't hurt him at all. Um, where do you go from here? If you look at the singles matches, you kind of have all your. I think this year going into the Royal Rumble pay per view, like there has been a lot of focus on the actual Royal Rumble match. Um, the talk of the Forbidden Door. You already know that Mickey James will be in the Women's Royal Rumble. Who else could be in the? Who else could be that surprise? That Forbidden Door. That Forbidden Door. I mean, you have the possibility of maybe a John Moxley, right? I mean, it's not, and I'm just throwing these names out there. It's not out of the realm of possibility, right? Seth Rollins said Mox. He said Mox. He said his AEW name. So why can't it be Moxley? Or maybe it could be, who else? Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan said that he loved his time with WWE, and he loved it. He loved Vince, and he just wanted to wrestle across the world, which he hasn't really done yet. But that's a possibility. He left on good terms. maybe Daniel Bryan, or and factor in that the fact that I think the Bella Twins are also going to be one of the. They were announced actually to be in the Women's Royal Rumble, right? So that's a possibility, Daniel Bryan, or maybe Chris Jericho, who finally, man, Chris Jericho is much of a legend and a cornerstone. Just just been able to reinvent himself time in and time out from Mr. Millennial to he just is able to reinvent himself. Maybe it's Jericho again, but you know, all these guys have been here. Like, listen, don't get me wrong. If it's Moxley, a lot of people would be. All these guys, the roof would blow. But I don't know. I'm looking for maybe someone that hasn't been here for a while, someone that we haven't seen, or someone that would really just make you. I don't know. It's just to me one of the entrants. I just hope it's someone that we haven't seen here before, like a Moose, for example, right? Impact, you figure, since they have Mickey James, maybe a Moose would be in the Royal Rumble. And maybe even though there was some hard feelings or some supposed hard feelings or some type of pre-notion or preconceptions, maybe it could be Nick Aldis from the NWA, who's married to Mickey James. Maybe it's something like that. So don't get me wrong, if the names that are always tossed around, we've seen these guys before here. Wouldn't be anything fresh. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they would all get a crowd reaction and all that stuff. If in fact we're exploring the forbidden door, but that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone that we haven't seen on WWE TV. Maybe it could be, heck, maybe it could even be Christian. Man, Christian has just been, I don't know, man. I'm looking at AEW Dynamite. I'm looking at Rampage. And Christian, man, just looks like he does not want to be there. He doesn't. It's just my opinion. I just don't see it that he wants to really be there. Maybe it's him. So the confirmed thus far in the Royal Rumble, like Randy Orton, Kevin Riddle, Kevin Owens, Happy Corbin. Fucking, I love Happy Corbin. Madcap Moss, AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, Austin Theory, Johnny Knoxville, Kofi Kingston, Biggie, Damian Priest, Sheamus, Sami Zayn, Omos, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, Chad Gable, Otis, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode. Just some of the names that were mentioned for the Royal Rumble. And remember, whoever wins gets to go on their road um, to WrestleMania. So, and that's, and I believe Seth Rollins, again, um, now that I think about it, I'm still sticking with what the main event will be for WrestleMania. I think it will be, unification match, and all the brands splitting and all that will be no more. Everyone will be on, you know, back and forth between shows. I still feel that way, but it's like who has to win, and how will that kind of play out for WrestleMania? I don't know. But you have to factor that in. I just think that will be Big E winning it. I think Big E will win the Royal Rumble. Um, kind of, get back into the title hunt, title picture. I could see it being Kevin Owens as well. Kevin Owens, he's been, man, really, Kevin Owens has been just not focused on at all, really. I mean, just until recently, he's been focused on, but don't sleep on Kevin Owens. To build him back up and be that monster douche that we know that he could be. All right, so I mean, all factors considered, I'm gonna go with Sammy. Not Sami Zayn. By the way, Johnny Knoxville will also be there. I don't know if I mentioned in the actual Rumble match. Man, if I have to pick a winner, and it'll all unfold later on, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Big E. I think it's gonna be Big E. Women's Royal Rumble match participants: Carmella, Dana Brooke, Nikki Ash, almost a superhero. Queen Zelina, Dana Brooke, um, Rhea Ripley, Tamina, Aaliyah, Charlotte Flair, Naomi, Natalia, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, Brie Bella, Lita, Nikki Bella, Kelly, Michelle McCool, Mickey James, Summer Rae, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan. You already know of some of the legends that have been coming back. We'll get into the whole legends talk and all that debacle in a couple of minutes. I don't know any wrestlers you see coming. Any surprises? Maybe man, I don't know really who could be a surprise for the women. Maybe you have. It's a good question. Maybe you have. Hmm, 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 hmm. Ronda Rousey come back. How about that? I think Ronda Rousey will come back. I think Charlotte Flair is also in there. I think Ronda Rousey will come back, and we're gonna have a repeat. Maybe they won't go the route of a repeat, but I do see Ronda Rousey in the Royal Rumble and her winning the Royal Rumble. So my predictions for the Royal, again, sum it up. And we rambled for 30 minutes. We probably could have just summed it up a lot quicker. But my predictions: um, men's Royal Rumble, um, uh, just the men's Royal Rumble, Big E. Women's Royal Rumble, Ronda Rousey. Brock Lesnar beating Bobby Lashley. I have Becky Lynch defeating Dewdrop. I have Edge and Beth Phoenix defeating The Miz and Maurice. And Roman Reigns defeating Seth freaking Rollins. So over over the past week, they had, when they announced Summer Rae, that she will be participating in the Royal Rumble. They picked her out in the crowd, I believe, when they were in when WWE was not in Nashville for a SmackDown show. Everyone's seen it on live TV. Um, I forgot I was making a point here. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of surprises that you're known about, that you will know in a women's. Um, there's surprises were already let out in the women's Royal Rumble. So, you know, again, I do feel it's Ronda Rousey that with the big surprise. Now, I was speaking about Summer Rae before I got distracted. Summer Rae, they called her a legend, and everyone in the wrestling community had to type up something, had to write something. Summer Rae legend? You guys, man, you gotta, and they do this. They promote their own stars. They want WWE wants people to you know come in, stay, and spend money. And they announced Summer Rae. And Summer Rae has a lot to offer. She's in magazine covers. She's pretty much well known since her wrestling career and established a new a new identity for herself. And Summer Rae just couldn't keep it up. She had injury problems. Her neck was bothersome, and she left on good terms. But they asked her to come back in the Royal Rumble, and everyone's up in arms about Legend. The fact that she was still able to, you know, go for as long as she did, um, even when she was hurt, was pretty amazing. Now, listen, no one. It's understandable if she wasn't um, the best superstar, but she left her mark, and she was able to, I think, keep her end of the bargain. You never hear any stories whatsoever, so that's kind of where we're headed uh, with that. I mean, Summer Rae, they call her a legend. Listen, people that haven't seen Summer Rae on their TV in quite some time, they need people to be invested in the character, rather than the character and the story. And that's how you do it. We'll take a break here for 5 minutes, and we'll play one song. We'll play a clip here on my channel. Let's see, something wrestling related from a year ago. Wait 1 second. One second. We'll take a short pause. So yeah, don't get your arms tangled up in a bunch because they called Summer Rae a legend. They need people to care, and a lot of people don't remember Summer Rae, so they need people to care. Okay, so that is all, and that's important. 1 second. Mm-hmm. 1 second. 1 second, folks. One second, guys. Be right back. Be right, guys. Right back. Rest in peace to Joseph. This old video. It's me, your buddy, your pal, your amigo, Tom, and I beg you and implore you to hit the like button and the subscribe button, notification bell. It means a lot to me. So, kind of when the COVID happened, kind of grew my favorite. What was really was a big fan. Still am a big fan of NWA, and I hope that somehow, some way, we see NWA back on our TV screens. Big fan of NWA. The reboot. They had something going there. It was on a little bit of a momentum, and then COVID happened, and kind of everything just fell apart. But I was a big fan of Josephus, or the question mark, as you may know it. The character, and it's a shame when NWA rebooted. Um, well, not rebooted, when it kind of went more, I guess, mainstream with the internet show um, that they had on YouTube. You really didn't get to see the character Josephus. I think you only seen him like maybe once or twice, and it wasn't even. It was kind of just a matter of like a whole hump kind of a deal thing, where he was just there in a battle royal, I believe. We see more of the question mark in later episodes. You know, brilliant portrayal, particularly of Josephus. Well, you know, he passed away today. Mr. Hudson passed away. It's unknown as to what exactly was the cause. I think Dutch Mantel was saying that it might have been either a stroke or an aneurysm. Results still pending. He had a young son, which is tragic in itself. He also portrayed Brody Lee in the Vice documentary as well. Josephus. He was working backstage when you know for NWA Power as well. So he did everything with NWA, and just a great damn character, Josephus. Kind of like this cult. You do yourselves a favor. Um, Look at the video. There's a video there when he was back in 2017. It's on NWA's YouTube page, where he was feuding with Tim Storm back then, and there was a vignette with him and his spiritual advisor. Beautiful vignette, beautiful development of a character, just really dark, really sinister. Reminds me of Kevin Sullivan from the Territory days. And you've had different variations of this type of character, where kind of cult leader. CM Punk, comes to mind with the Straight Edge Society. Well, this is, actually Josephus was actually a little bit more darker, but there are variations. Yet CM Punk with the Straight Edge Society. You could even say that maybe even Seth Rollins played a part of that character to a degree. Just great character work. You have to look at the vignettes. Really dark, really sinister. Had the whole look, had the beard, had the long hair. Kind of very David Koresh-like spiritual advisor. It was a good character. And then you had the question mark, which very, very generic, like kind of like a creative pro wrestler. Very generic look. Had the tights, was under a mask, and was the sensei of Mongrovian karate, I believe. Which I'll be honest, and he was prepared with Aaron Stevens, Shooter Stevens, and with the Mongrovian karate, with the question mark. I wasn't so much a big fan of that. Now the question mark was funny because all he would do basically is like grunt. But I wasn't like a big fan of that pairing, that character. But it's not for everyone. But that Josephus character, Josephus rather, Josephus character, amazing. Rest in peace to a great, great wrestler. Rest in peace to Mr. Hudson.
Is Kelly eating eggs made from plants to stand by a new vegan man and join him in it? She's eating those eggs because they're delicious. And I mean,
We're back. We're back. Little refresher. Little refreshment for your boy. Little bit. Little bit. So yeah, Summer Rae being called a legend. It's because a lot of you kids forgot who Summer Rae is. No, not the 40-something-year-olds. We know, in the 30-something-year-olds, we know you know who Summer Rae is. But there are a lot of eyeballs on the WWE product since Summer Rae was with the WWE. Yes, as much as you disbelieve it, because apparently now the WWE is everything bad is WWE because they're bad. No, people do. There are constantly new eyeballs just watching the product. Believe me, it's all right. You don't have to. You don't have to believe me, but know that I am always telling the truth. So there you have that. Now, wrestling is, as we know, wrestling is a story. It's, the wrestlers, the performers want to tell you a story to kind of keep you engaged. And the story is ultimately, a good story is a story where, you don't know what's fact or fiction. I mean, look, I'll give you a perfect example, a perfect story that was told beautifully, beautifully. We didn't know if it was what was real, what wasn't, what was fake. It was the story of Andy Kaufman and Jerry the King Lawler. That was a story that was beautifully told, and you're always in suspicion. You're always in you're always in suspicion. You're always in disbelief, right? That's a good story um, to be told, right? Everything has a ideally you want your story to have a start, a middle, and an end. Um, you know, um, with that being said, when you have um, the issue, what happened with John Moxley, where he came back after being in rehab, making himself better, making himself a better human being. And when he came back on AEW this past, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, man, he looked like a completely different person between the before and after. So he cleaned himself up and did himself a favor. He looks like a complete different person. And good for him because he has a wife, he has a newborn. His life is just beginning. Whether he believes it or not, his job is to be there, for that newborn. So he has to make sure that he is, mentally, physically healthy and fine and ready to go at all times and aware of his surroundings. He's married to Renee Young, as we know, right? And Bully Ray said, that he thinks that, and again, he's happy that John Moxley is back. He thinks that John Moxley owes um, an apology. He should not have um, Bully Ray saying that John Moxley should not have acted the way he had did during that promo. He should have apologized because all the fans were waiting for him to come back, be on the television screen, and he was not there. And Billy Ray was saying it was because of his fault. Because of his fault, he was not on TV. It made the fans upset, and fans could have gone elsewhere and joined another team, which it's kind of to the extreme. But fans, certain things that trigger fans' memories may stop them from supporting you, I guess. But fact of the matter is, John Moxley does not owe anyone an apology. There's scouts everywhere, but who are you gonna who's to argue between one quarterback and the other quarterback at this point? Um, he Moxley does not owe anyone an apology. Bully Ray, I think by saying that, I think was off because you don't owe anyone an apology. You're not if you're not okay or if you're not thinking head straight, then accidents and stuff like that, overreactions are bound to happen. So it's good. It's a good good practice to have. So John Moxley, no apology to Bully Ray. Rather, Bully Ray should have an apology to John Moxley, but I'm sure Bully Ray has already doubled down onto the apology. Now, Mustafa Ali has, well, he has asked for his release. Now, here's the thing, and he was denied his release. Here's the thing, right? If you, first of all, I think why he was declined, and you've seen the interaction on with the phones, but yeah, listen, it is, it's tough. Yeah, so Mustafa Ali again. Before I got distracted here, I think we paused here. Mustafa Ali asked for his release. He asked for his release before all indications are is Mustafa Ali asked his for his release through social media, meaning that no one had gotten it because it was plastered over social media, and that's how that's how he asked for his release over social media. Social media, Mustafa Ali running, asking for his release on social media. Problem, mistake number one. Mistake number one. Never works. I don't know what has ever. How is anything out in the public ever worked out? Usually it's behind closed doors. That's usually the best way. That's all right. Well, sorry you feel this way. Let's, we'll leave on good terms. You come back. Maybe you come back again. Yada, yada, yada. But just, and his message was not malice. His message was, just simply I'm asking for my release. So it wasn't a bad asking. It was just already done in the open, which I think was a big problem. Just do it behind closed doors and you might have had a better luck. Who knows? But all of a sudden, out of the blue, all the Mustafa Ali fans have awoken, and the big machine in the WWE is the bad one yet again. Mustafa Ali never got his chances. That's what everyone was saying. Listen, not for nothing, Mustafa Ali had chance after chance after chance after chance. Is everything always gonna be the best possible story, the best type of the best type? You have to, you know, you have to. I think Ali really wasn't going anywhere, but he at the same and what's going on, Cody. He wasn't really doing anything. He wasn't going anywhere, but it's not like they didn't give him opportunity. I mean, they gave him a retribution. Yes, retribution just came off silly at the end of it, but they did give him, like, they thought of him, giving him a major storyline. He was the guy that was also supposed to be, before it was Kofi Mania, if you remember, it was supposed to be Ali. So, I just think the guy had opportunity, and They had chances with him. Then they paired him up in a tag, which it didn't go anywhere. But I don't know. The guy has been on TV and he was not able to make it work. He has been given chances and opportunities, and everyone is to blame. I'm sure everyone is to blame on the Ali character. All right, everyone takes a blame that he did not become a bigger star than what he was supposed to. But there comes a point where you have to kind of, at some point, when push comes to shove, you have to make stuff out of chicken shit and hope that it sticks. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the whole retro it but I mean, at what point do you do you take the blame? I mean, the writers, they're blamed to a point, but I mean, you're also given this thing that you're supposed to have like charisma, and you're supposed to make something happen. I don't know, man. You're supposed to make it work somehow. I mean, he's been given chance after chance after chance. Well, he's been on TV, so I don't know. Like, I really don't feel sorry for the guy. I really don't. I mean, if you're giving me people to feel sorry for, and someone that wants out, and if they're not given an out, like 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 someone that I would feel sorry for. I know he's not with the company anymore, but Gunner from old TNA days. Um, that's someone I felt sorry for when he was over here on the main roster. Granted, he put his foot in his mouth. He was never given a shot, and he had a story to tell if they just allowed him to tell the story. But if you look at it now, and when he does eventually move on from the WWE, I mean, where would he kind of fit in anyway? It's kind of hard to see where a guy like Ali would fit in. AEW is stacked. Um, where would he even go? Honestly, think he's gonna get any type of traction in AEW? Has anyone seen Jay Leto? By the way, seen him chasing the FTW belt. I mean, yeah. Listen, good for him. He wants to reinvent himself, come back better. I just, all of a sudden, everyone is a Mustafa Ali fan on the IWC because, and I don't know, it's yeah, he could definitely fit in Impact. He could definitely fit in Impact. That's a place to go. He could be a star there, but it's like whatever the whole scenario was, whatever Ali thinks that he could, he should be, and what he in actuality is. If he would have just done this, gone through Vince directly, I'm sure, or kept it in house, I'm sure it would have just worked out completely better for him than it is now. Than it is now. Rumble actually should be very good too. Just going back to the Rumble, I'm kind of like, this is the first time I'm actually like excited for the actual Rumble match. Like, I like the individual matches as well. I think Rollins and Roman Reigns are going to crush it. I was saying Brock Lesnar has just been entertaining as you could tell this time around with this contract that he signed and his whole time here. He's actually loving. He like rediscovered wrestling or whatever it was, and he's having a grand old time. But I'm just looking forward to the actual Rumble match to see if that forbidden door, quote unquote, how far that forbidden door is actually opened. And I thought, like, I was thinking to myself, you know, the usual names as far as the men's side, like a Christian who just he just looked miserable. I don't know, he just looks so out of place. Christian or a guy like Daniel Bryan who left on good terms, and the Bellas are there. I could see that. But that wouldn't that really. I already seen these guys and Jericho. Now, if we're talking like a Moose or Nick Aldis, that's something I would definitely love to see. I think with Heyman and Lesnar, I don't know, man. Like I think the whole plan was to have WrestleMania unification of the belts, was to have Lesnar versus Reigns, unification of of the belts. So I, I just I mean I could see it happening. I could definitely see it happening with Heyman screwing over Lesnar, but I don't think it would be so black and white, so to speak, where I think there would be a kind of like a blurred line where it was, let's say, by accident. Because I think as much as you have Heyman now, as much as you have Lesnar kind of just read like just this whole, all of a sudden he could cut a promo mode. I think if you overexpose Lesnar, that might be a little problem down the road with the whole presentation of Lesnar. Because let's face it, Lesnar is pretty much their that's their larger than life character. I think Lesnar is just like the big money ticket. Reigns now too to a point, but I think that if they go that route, it's gonna be like a screw over that is by accident. Um, 'Cause I just don't think you could put all your money in a hat on the Lesnar just completely being able to cut promos and just be out there by himself for long periods of time. I think oversaturation is going to catch up with him sooner or later. You had this whole big new talk that's also out there is Matt Cardona just crushing it, and I gotta give it to Cardona. He completely he just reinvented himself, man. He completely reinvented himself in Cardona, just going out there and just really just sticking it to the fans, calling himself, the ECW champion. What he's doing on the Indies, even like what he's doing in my beloved NWA. This is a guy that's just um, completely kind of just refound himself, rediscovered himself. Um, the 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 469 thing is a little bit of a ripoff, not that original thought, but it works. That whole McFoley jacket works. and that's a guy really that just kind of is playing by his own rules and is really making it work. I think he definitely has reinvented himself. Um, I don't know if that really changes how WWE views him now. I mean, it's kind of, but give it to him. You got to give it up for him. He's been trying to completely just rid the whole stench. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was the best thing that he could have done because it was just completely washing away that stench of being Long Island Ice Z Zack Ryder. For what it's worth, being that that character, he had it down. His original character, Long Island IC, he had that character down to a T as well. Because being actually from the same neck of the woods that he is in, he portrayed that character as well. But if you remember, you had a dude like Robbie E, who's Jersey Shore. I don't know what happened with that dude. I don't know why he's not wrestling, just being a manager and just he's like completely like dwarfed into like so small now, but he was good as well. But they had those characters down to a T. Robbie E and TNA and Zack Ryder. So they had those characters down to a T. And but yeah, I mean he definitely reinvented himself. And I could see Vince McMahon coming up and offering him another deal. Now, would I put him? Is he a main eventer at this point? I don't know, but that's definitely someone that has definitely just reinvented the wheel and has made himself more marketable now at this point of his career. Um, yes, but now how do you come back if you're doing that? How would you have Heyman come back with Reigns after Reigns pretty much just kicked him out? And his whole thing was with the whole trust issue. How would you tell that story and then putting them back together again? Yeah, Zack Ryder's heel again. And again, just even like what he's doing NWA wise, and just what he says is like, as much as I like NWA, what he says there is 100% true. That NWA, in a sense, that does have to, he does have to kind of, I mean, NWA does kind of have to evolve with the times a little bit. I mean, it just, yeah, he's, as a savior, and, he wants pyro, he wants music. The, and it's making NWA, I think I said this last time, it's making NWA look like they have a little bit of egg on their face. Because, like, what he's saying is so damn true. Like, Trevor Murdoch, no one knows who Trevor Murdoch is, only the diehard fans. And dude has zero, like no Twitter followers. And you have a guy like Zack Ryder and his million Twitter followers puts out a tweet for NWA that's more coverage, as much as I like the NWA. That's a lot more coverage than the NWA could do with their Twitter account. So it's pretty damn hysterical, as much as I hate it. Um, you see also as well. I have seen, yes, Why can't? Yeah, I mean, NWA. I mean, I like again that they're back on YouTube. That really is going to help them out again because being on Fight TV, as cheap as it was, it you need people. You need more eyeballs first before you could keep before you could ask people to kind of give in and pay in that whole scenario there. Forgot to even mention my buddy, my amigo Finn Balor. Oi 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 oi. Finn Balor, man, that's another one that a lot of people have been crying about, and I just do not get it, man. I don't get it. Finn Balor, a guy who was world champion, all right, short period of time was a world champion. You take him down to NXT, did have the title there. He's had some relative success. Okay, this has he been a world champion, title belt holder, numerous time title belt holder? No, but he's, I think, been had a decent WWE run. And for the longest time, what you hear from the IWC is same old stuff, same old shit, same everything. Everything is the same matchup over and over and over again. And meanwhile, here you have a guy like Austin Theory who comes up, good look. He carries a cell phone around. That's his thing, and that's his heat magnet there. And who is he gonna wrestle? You don't have enhancement talent. You have to fight someone. So he fights Austin. He fights Finn Balor in Austin Theory, and he wins. And he wins. So now all of a sudden, you're supposed to care about Austin Theory. I do. I care about Austin Theory because guess what? He beat Finn Balor. He did, he beat Finn Balor. Now, if Finn Balor beat Austin Theory, would anyone care about Austin Theory? No, they wouldn't. Because again, one of the biggest gripes that everyone has now apparently is that WWE does not have stars, does not create stars. Well, by Austin Theory just defeating Finn Balor, Austin Theory is kind of like a star now. So I don't understand. Help me understand the big deal with Finn Balor losing to Austin Theory. And not only losing to Austin Theory a few times. What's the big deal? How else are you going to have a star? If he beats Jobber Rick, would anyone care? No, he beats a former world's champion in NXT, beats a world's champion on Raw, and everyone is up in arms. Like, I don't understand. And then the narrative flips to where all of a sudden, and I don't know where did they get this from. This is just, again, whoever you view, whatever you listen, whatever site you get it from, all of a sudden now, it's because Finn Balor loses. They don't think that Vince is not high on him all of a sudden. Vince is not high on Finn Balor, and that's why Finn Balor is losing to Austin Theory. Well, if you're high on Austin Theory and sour on Finn Balor, that means you don't believe that Finn Balor has star power. So why would you put those two in a match to begin with? It makes zero sense to me. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, I mean, there has to be someone that's losing to the younger talent, right? And I'm sure everyone's gonna have like like their own dose of losing to younger talent. If I'm not mistaken, didn't even when AJ Styles went down to NXT, he got his block knocked off too when he was facing Grayson Waller, right? I mean, so it's I mean to make people care about wrestlers and about talent, you have got to you've got to start somewhere. I mean, I don't, that's it's stuff like that. I do not get about with the wrestling fans as of late. Um, Listen, just because a wrestler loses here and there, they're not on the shit list. They're on TV. Someone that's on the shit list is my buddy Elias. Walk with Elias. What has happened to Elias? By God. Is the guy alive? Is he dead? We don't know. That's someone that you need to worry about. But a guy that's on TV, especially a caliber of Finn Balor losing once or twice to Austin Theory, and it's not like Finn Balor's not getting his licks in. He's getting his licks in too. But and just based on that, I am loving what Austin Theory has been doing. Really just getting under your skin. To me, it's working. It's working, and I gotta give props to just looking at Raw from this past week. Gotta give props to Chad Gable. My God, has Chad Gable done a um, complete turn as to where he's been before? I mean, barely on TV before. Look, this is like a guy that's been given things. He hasn't been able to make it work, and now he's able to make this work. This whole thing with Otis and the Alpha Academy, brilliant, brilliant. Um, Keeps it simple. Is now able to speak on the mic. Great wrestler, total package, and he's really put it together. He's definitely put it together. I like what I see from him. I like that combination. I like that whole segment with the spelling bee, and it was perfect. It was well done, and he's comfortable out there, very comfortable out there now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another commotion that has happened since I was last on, and this one was a doozy. This one was definitely a doozy. Gunther. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Gunther. The argument was, or they say the internet does a lot. The internet does a lot. Google does a lot. Google could be your friend. Google should be your friend. You could Google everything now. Just like they always used to say that old line when it came to putting China into the Hall of Fame. Yes, and I know she's been put in the Hall of Fame, but that was with the X. I'm talking, more like along the lines of individually. They always said, well, her Google history is the problem. Why we can't put her in individually, and eventually she was anyway, which doesn't make sense in the first spot to begin with. Their initial argument, but damn, just the internet, man, and like the whole damn name change doesn't make any damn sense. I know he explained it, but it doesn't make any damn sense. He was already established as Walter. Everyone knew him as Walter. Established. The big dude that bullies people around, the big tall dude. Yes, the with the thick accent. Everyone knew was Walter. You change his name to Gunther, and he's still pretty much Walter. By the way, I don't think that they even honestly used Google. Like, I don't think that they even thought to Google Gunther and with the last name that they had. I don't think they even thought to do it. So I don't think it was intentional. But still, Google is your best friend. That's the first thing. You know, and the second thing, it doesn't make any sense because again, it's not like you completely change his character. It's not like you cut his hair. Not like he's wearing colorful trunks. Not like he's talking like he's from Brooklyn all of a sudden. It's still the same dude with a different name, and it's still the same character he's playing. Does not make any damn sense. Now the second thing that it shows, because everyone was up in arms, offended, pretty much shows that, and this is just my opinion, that we want the attitude era. Everyone wants the attitude era. We are not ready for the attitude era. We are not ready for the attitude era. Now maybe because it was a slow news day, or maybe because it's just the WWE, and the cool thing right now to do is just to power on the WWE. But if you're offended by a name and what its Google search is tied into, listen, it was a very dark time in history. But that does not mean that everyone is like that, you know, character or like that person that's watching you know, um, the TV screen, um, just offended, offended. And again, this is a character a name, a character name, which is a character which someone is acting and playing. So even if you are offended by the name Gunther as a character, what about from back in the day? What about if you were looking at the character? Everyone could be offended by everything. You look at the character Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is a combination, one might argue, of a spin-off of a Waylon Mercy, who was kind of like a David Koresh type of character. So everything has a spin-off, and all the popular characters that make you hate them, their whole fabric is being a dark, sinister side. So it just doesn't. We're not ready for the Attitude Era. And I agree, Cody, Attitude would not work these days because everyone would be offended by everything. Man, I remember back in that kind of was towards the end of the Attitude Era. I remember when there was a character by the name of Muhammad Hassan. Muhammad Hassan wasn't even he was Italian, if I believe, or like Sicilian. Played that character up to a down to a T perfectly. People got offended, and they had to take the character away, and that essentially kind of was the end of him ever even wrestling. So I don't like just the whole being upset about a name. That's what wrestling is supposed to do. If done right, it's supposed to either make you very happy or it's supposed to make you very, very angry with, you know, in a character presentation. But it's just an act. It's acting. It's not real. I truly, 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 truly do not understand all the hoopla, all the outrage about a name that's being portrayed by a character. And it's and all good things are actually a ruin. Like it's it's just a name. That's all, man. Other more important things to worry about than a character name. I will tell you about one thing in which I thought just got um, really, it, and that's why it's like so frustrating reading the dirt sheets because it's really got to decipher what's real and what's fake, and so on and so forth. Um, but they're saying that the executives are kind of upset, not happy with AEW, not AEW, but NXT 2.0 after they kind of rebrand and rechanged everything. They're not that happy. Well, it's only been 6 months. You have characters there that are the I people are sleeping on NXT. They are. Again, I'm going to go back to Grayson Waller. I'm going to go back to Bronson Breaker. I'm going to go back to Toxic Attraction. All these characters that they've been developing recently are just starting to like really stick now, and it's going to turn around. It's going to turn around. You really have to give NXT a chance. Um, it's not that bad. It's not the same characters, not the same wrestlers that you had before, but you really got to give it a chance. And I think that whole, I think that it's a story just to make a story. Last thing here, though, just my kind of trying to figure these things out here. And again, I'm trying to look at it objectively and not be biased as Facebook is going out here. Beach break. Help me understand this. Beach break in January in Ohio. It was in Cleveland in an arena, not on a beach, and the arena is not even designed as a beach. Cassidy versus Cole, good match, but Cole really, damn man, Cole Cassidy is more jacked than Cole. I mean, that's my one observation. They were building this up to be like a special type of beach break. Okay, you go to beach break in January, not even decorated as a beach. That's just that's my pet peeve with the AEW, and better be quiet about that pet peeve because as soon as I tweet that, um, people go up in arms. I'm looking at what else here I had on my sheet, and I think that might be it. Let's see what I have here. I think we're about ready to wrap it up here as I'm losing steam quickly. And I think I just might have paused. I think I just lagged here for a second. But yeah, I mean, Saturday Royal Rumble is going to be snow on the East Coast. Might jump on sometime, do a reaction video on maybe go live, do a reaction on the whole Royal Rumble. Cody, who do you have winning the Royal Rumble? I'm gonna put it in the chat. Oh, I gotta sign into chat. Sucks. Well, Cody, when you do see it, let me know who do you think's gonna win in the chat for the Rumble, and who's that one who's that surprise or any big surprise that we're gonna see for the actual Rumble match itself. I think from earlier on, I thought it was going to be Big E that wins the Rumble for the men's side. Um, think it's going to be Ronda Rousey from the women's side. Yeah, Big E. Big E. You think anyone from the Forbidden Door is gonna pop on through? Maybe Moose, Big E. Imagine if it was MJF that made the Forbidden Door. But I don't think, I don't think it's going that route. It'll be interesting to see if they could keep it this way, how it is. But it's going to be a lot. That's going to be a lot of work to bust open that door. But I think we're at a start. We're at a start. So Rumble this week. Might do a reaction video there. Jump on. And yeah, just probably try to keep doing this every other week. Tuesday is the day that I'm looking at, but it always seems to be Wednesday, so maybe I should stick to Wednesday. But yeah, MJF would not fit in WWE. No, he would not. But it would definitely, you know, it would definitely keep. It would definitely cause a big reaction. All right, so happy Royal Rumble weekend. East Coast getting a storm here. Hopefully this clusterfuck made sense, and hopefully be able to do a reaction video. And we'll be in touch. Mahalo, everyone. Hope all is well. Enjoy the rest of the week. Any questions, any comments, any concerns, always just hit me up on the comment section, and